I don't think glow ups are fake. I've had glow up moments in my life, and some of them genuinely changed me. But at the age of 40, I've realized something very, very important. Glow up culture is incomplete. It focuses on how you look and how fast you can change it, but it doesn't teach you how to sustain a life that actually feels good. So in 2026, I'm not chasing glow up culture anymore. I'm not looking for glow up hacks. I'm focused on elevating how I actually live, how I decide, and how my life feels day to day. And if you've ever tried to glow up and still feel like something was missing, this video is for you. Glow up language made sense to me for a long time. It gave shape to something I didn't yet know how to articulate. I wanted to feel better in my body. I wanted to be more confident when I left the house, more consistent with the woman I knew I was becoming. And for a while, focusing on my appearance, my style, and how I presented myself really helped me. I remember moments where I thought, okay, this is it. I'm finally stepping into something new that's gonna just crack things wide open. And those feelings really mattered for me. So I'm not dismissing that season in my life, not at all, because glow ups aren't meaningless. They helped me close the gap between how I felt on the inside and how I was showing up on the outside. They gave me the momentum that I really needed during that time in my life. But over time, I started to notice something. Even when I was doing all the right things, the feeling didn't last. The initial excitement wore off, the newness and the euphoria started to fade real fast. And I find myself quietly already thinking about the next thing. Quick story time. I remember buying this handbag that I wanted for months. Man, I chased that handbag down, stalking the sales associates at the Chanel store, trying to get my hands on this bag. And when I finally secured it, it was the handbag that all my favorite creators swore by, and it looked so good on them. I had watched countless review and unboxing videos. I justified the cost. I told myself it was an investment in my leveling up experience. And when I walked out the store with the bag in hand, I was so excited. And for a moment, I really did feel like, okay, girl, you've arrived. You got another Chanel bag. But it surprised me how quickly that feeling faded. Not because the handbag wasn't nice, not because I wasn't grateful, but because I realized that I was already thinking about what came next, the next handbag. Like the internet was already telling me that I needed the next thing. And I know a lot of women don't say this out loud, but I think many of us have felt that quiet disappointment after doing something that felt right, and then we still felt unsettled. I wasn't wrong for wanting more, but I was asking glow up culture to solve problems that it was not built to solve. Glow up culture helped me look more put together, but it didn't help me feel settled. It didn't teach me how to make decisions that I wouldn't second guess months later. And more importantly, it didn't teach me how to recognize when something was already good enough to begin with. It continued to focus on what to add instead of what to refine or what to release. And that realization didn't come all at once. It happened slowly through repetition and honestly hitting my head a few times. Like seriously, when my husband realized how much those Chanel handbags cost, it caused serious tension in my relationship. How's that for hitting your head and learning the hard way? And at some point, the question I was asking myself started to change. Instead of asking, how do I improve this? I started asking, is this aligned with the life that I'm trying to build? That's where elevation started to mean something different to me. Elevation stopped being about reinventing myself to align with the internet's it girls, trends, or whatever new self-improvement hacks and frameworks I stumbled across. It became more about refinement and appreciation for my own lived experience and, more importantly, who I am already. Not doing more, but doing better. Not chasing the next thing, but choosing consistency instead. For example, I remember there were moments where I absolutely could have chased the next trend or the next thing or bought the next handbag or rebranded myself yet again. And instead I paused. I stopped. Like I mean it, y'all. I stopped and I asked myself, on the inside, does this actually support the life that I'm trying to live? Or is this something that just looks good online? And that pause was new for me. I mean, seriously, it was new for me. And that pause is where the elevation really started for me. Glow up culture prioritizes how quickly you can change and how visible that change is and how drastic that change is. Whereas maturity prioritizes clarity, restraint, and how to make decisions that you can actually live with long term. And that's the shift that I'm intentionally living into at this moment. And if you watch my last video on my early experiences with luxury, then you already know that that's something that I'm still practicing, not something that I'm pretending I perfected in front of y'all. I'm being honest. Seeing that shift, though, clearly changed the way I think about growth at this stage of my life. If glow-ups aren't the answer anymore, though, then I needed a different way to think about goals and resetting and progress. And that's what's shaping how I'm planning to make decisions in 2026. When I think about 2026, I do think in terms of goals and resets. But my goals aren't about becoming someone new. They're about supporting the person that I already am. I'm choosing to pace myself instead of going all in and getting burned out like I normally do. Like seriously, in the past, I would overhaul everything all at once. I'd establish countless new routines. I'd set 1 billion new standards for the year. And don't even get me started on the new expectations that I would set. And I'd exhaust myself trying to maintain it all. Now I make smaller decisions that I can actually live with. I don't ask myself, can I do it perfectly? I ask myself, can I sustain this on an ordinary Tuesday? Like my Tuesday, not my favorite content creator's Tuesday and what I see on the internet. I'm simplifying my choices and being more thoughtful about what I say yes to, not because I plan on doing less, but because I'm choosing better. I'm trying to choose better. I'm choosing what actually helps me over time, not what looks good on the surface. I'm less interested in feeling the excitement that comes from having something new all the time, and I'm much more interested in feeling steady and more grounded. And when I say this out loud, whether it's in conversations with my girlfriends or I observe in comments in my videos, women don't respond with these big, lofty declarations. They share small, quiet shifts. They talk about buying fewer things and fewer clothes, for example, that they will actually wear, and letting go of routines that looked impressive but really drain them, and deciding not to chase a version of themselves that never felt natural to begin with. And that's what real elevation looks like to me now. I think this shift happens for a lot of women in their 40s. You've tried all the new things. You've reinvented yourself more times than you care to admit on Beyonce's internet. You've invested all the money. You've done a lot of internal work. And instead of asking, what else can I add? You start asking, what actually matters at this stage of my life? And that reset isn't about how things look. It's actually about how my life actually works, how my life actually holds me. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like clarity. I don't know about you, sister, but that feels like clarity to me. And if any part of this felt familiar, you don't have to explain it perfectly. Even naming it quietly matters. You're not behind. You're not doing anything wrong. You might just be ready for a more honest and more mature framework. And if that resonated with you, I'd love for you to stay. This channel is where I plan to reflect on these types of shifts as I move through this stage of my life in real time. Thank you for watching my video. And please consider subscribing so you don't miss my future uploads. Bye.